Okay.
Want to make sure you got the right screen.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is David Sayre. I'm the product support specialist slash SQA at Blue Moon. Uh, what we do here is we're going to be presenting the project tracking solution that we added to Business Central. A little bit about Blue Moon. We have products for our Dynamics GP, BC, 365, Finance, and Acumatica. We developing the product since 1984. And we have over 2,000 customers using our products today. Project tracking allows you to customize your projects inside Business Central. It provides P&L reporting for all your projects using analytic reporting. We actually designed it based upon the GP application and made some tiny improvements into the actual product itself for BC. Little about us after this demo. If you need to contact us for a more personalized demo of the product, or if you want more information, we can be reached at channel management at bluemoonisb.com. We could also access our website, www.bluemoonisb.com, and our phone number is 401 276 9000. A little bit about the product. It sits inside Business Central. It has its own menu items when you go in. When you first install it, it is actually not enabled, so you can actually install it and not turn it on. So that way it's ready, you're developing it, you're setting up your setups, and when you're ready to actually start using it, you just have to enable it. For the numbering series setup and project tracking setup, you can actually set up a default numbering scheme for your project for the next available project ID and next available project adjustments if you need to create starting balances for your projects in Business Central. It uses the actual numbering schema inside Business Central. Similar to GP, you could set up a default project ID. So when you actually create new distributions on transactions, it'll default to the default project ID. In GP, that was a per user. We made it more global in Business Central. As for the defaults, you also designate what the default amount type is for each of the transaction types. So for your sales, it's automatically going to be sales, which is your revenue, but you can also assign a default breakdown code to that amount type. For cost and sales, you could designate between estimated cost and estimated cost of labor or material. And again, assign a default breakdown code if you wish. For your purchasing documents, it could either be material or labor. If you're going to create a general ledger, you can actually distribute the general ledger journal directly to a project as well, if you need to, and cash receipts as well. Similar to GP, we actually offered a default project operating cost, so you can actually designate a percentage at the project setup, which will flow to the actual new projects that you create as well. With project tracking, it also has 7 transaction user-defined fields as additional subdivisions for your project. You could designate the labels inside project tracking setup, whether it's required or it's set up flagged as a constant. In setup, you'll be designating the label, what each user-defined field is for. And again, similar to GP, it actually has project card user-defined fields, 27 checkboxes, 7 dates, 7 numeric, and 20 additional text fields. When you're ready to create your projects, you go to the project list, And if you need to modify one, you just select it and modify it. If you go new, it would create the new project card where you would designate your description. If you assigned a proposal number, work order number, if you needed to assign it to a specific customer ID, salesperson code, as well, default an estimated start date, end date, or an actual start date and actual end date. The project open date automatically defaults to the system date of the sheet. And again, the operating cost percentages, if you needed to track operating costs for your distributions, automatically default, but those can be adjusted. You can also set project estimates for this project if you needed to for revenue, material, and labor expenses. It also tracks the actuals as you distribute this project to an actual project, to transactions. It'll be tracked on the project card what the actuals are for your sales distributions, as well as your labor and expenses, any adjustments, cash, tax, miscellaneous freight, trade discount. If you needed to default the subdivision from the project card, you can. So in this case, I set up in project tracking, set up 3 subdivisions of manager, region, department. And if I wanted to default it, I can, as well as I could also limit which ones are available to that project through the limiting module. So I can assign it, set one as a default, but I can also assign a second one. And when I distribute this transaction to this project, only the 2 that are assigned are going to be available. The improvement here from GP is the user defined fields, the actual project card user defined fields. If you only set up labels on the actual project card, those are the only ones that are visible. Whereas in GP, you still saw them all with the default out of the box naming, but this one, you're only going to see the ones that you want. Similar to GP, we also have project breakdown. So if you needed to limit which breakdown codes are available to this project and assign a default, you can do that as well at the project card level. So when you're ready to create your project distributions for transactions, you would actually just create your transactions in Business Central as you normally would. Let me pop this out so it looks a little bigger. And when you're ready to distribute, you just select the project tracking button. One of the big differences is that we have from GP is we actually added all the user defined fields onto the header here. So if I wanted to actually default, I would actually select the project that I want. It's going to ask me if I want to default it to all the lines that are on it. I select yes, but also show all the defaults that are on the project card at the header level. And I could change it at the header level. It'll roll down to each of the lines as well. Each line itself could be a different project if you needed to. And similar to GP, if I wanted to split that sales distribution to multiple projects, I could do that as well. You're also going to give you the document header totals on what has been distributed, what has not been, what is remaining. If I make changes at the actual transaction level, I could do a resync and that'll pull in any new distribution rows that have been added since that transaction was created. Similar to GP, if I were to actually post, oh, I got an error in the environment. We're missing something on the transaction. That's similar to GP. Uh, if you're to create it on the sales order, the distributions flow to the actual invoice as well. So there's my project distributions on the actual invoice. That also occurs on purchase order. If I start at a quote or if I start at a quote or an order, those distributions will flow naturally to the next document. If I had posted documents already and I needed to add them, add the project tracking to, I can actually create new adjustments on the project similar to GP. I could also add project distributions to posted documents as well. And I could even change the project distributions on posted documents as well. So similar to GP, I can add or I could resync or I could reset it. Resync allows me to pull in new details that are on the sales document or on the transaction that have changed since the project distributions were originally created. Reset basically deletes all the project distributions and starts from scratch. And adding, if it wasn't distributed to a project at all, I could select add and it would add. I also have the project analysis reporting, similar to P&L that we have in GP. So I can review the data and it'll actually show me the revenue and expenses and if I have operating expenses as well. This reporting is also detailed on what is actually filtered in the window itself. So in transaction inquiry, what you have displayed, which you can actually filter the records as well using the existing filtering capability in VC. Currently, project tracking budgeting does not exist yet for the project tracking Business Central application. We are actually in development of that and should be having that released as an additional add-on module for project tracking soon. So again, thank you for having us, Amy. I went a little bit faster than yesterday. And again, our contact is channel management at bluemoonISV.com. You can also look at our website, www.bluemoonISV.com. And our phone number is 401 276 9000.
Thank you so much, David. You're right on time. I appreciate it. All